recorded. It's something to do with the 5G between Norway subscriptions and US subscriptions. It is activated now, so we can go on for a little bit. What we did do, Carl and I, is we recorded in horizontal format, went around and just talked to ourselves, and we'll upload it and paste it and upload it later today when we're on Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, that'll probably be about 8 to 10 hours from now. But we're going to walk down to the downtown area where all the bigger buildings are while we look for a connection point, and then we'll log out. But you can join us a little bit if you're still happen to be around 2 hours later from our regular scheduled time. Okay. There's actually no hotspots around here either, because behind us this is all government building. Hey, it's a Max. So there you go, Max. We're popping in for a little bit, but we'll upload something that we recorded while it was having internet issues. But it seems to be fixed now. There's only 1 day left of this month, and I have just purchased T gigabytes just to 10 gigabytes. I mean, just to try to get through. So anyway, this is, oh, Albert, there's people are still around. I'm impressed. Okay, I didn't know if anyone still be here, but it just got a message. It took like, I don't know if it's because it's Sunday, international, whatever, but it took a little time. Oh, look at the stones have names on them. We gotta go. It took a long time to update, which was stupid, because if it would have, if it was something that was, we did try to update it in the cab on the way here before there was still 20% remaining. It didn't work. Hi, Lindsay's here. So one of the things we recorded, we noticed that the flag is at half-mast. The bagpipe players were practicing for an event that's going on the other side over there. There is a big Minnesota cutout in stone on the tile there with the different counties written on it. And there's also this Korean War memorial that we looked at a little bit. And then, of course, the Capitol's back there, and we got better views of it, too. But we recorded it offline, and we'll upload it later. Still building Fifth Krieg. Come on, Albert, you gotta be done yet. Anyway, we were just gonna walk past these beautiful stones that were sitting here, and I realized they all have phrases on them. Did you find some that you like, Carl?
No.
The way you talk about pheasant season makes me wish I was back there. 1941 Douglas. Oh, these are areas. I never realized what love of country was until I was on foreign soil. 1919 Cottonwood. You know, I kind of can see the point of that one. What about you?
In 1919, he was probably fighting in the Flanders. So
a little different perspective?
Yeah.
Your victory garden must have been productive. Just save us some sweet pickles. 1942 Faribault. These names, by the way, Faribault, Cottonwood, Douglas, these are all counties in Minnesota. And so these are, and Houston is another. So I'm assuming these are the people that the counties were named after. Your letters and your prayers are what gives us strength. 2004, Houston. I got your letter today and was so happy I didn't think a letter would ever be so welcome. 1968, Itasca. When things are going the toughest for you, do you remember that we have not forgotten you? 1965, Le Sueur. Oh, this one's for me. Dear Mom, I miss you like crazy. 2014, Isanti. Oh, yeah, it's Isanti. 2014. Okay, so these are more modern. It may have been my turn a half an hour later where there was no use in worrying. 1915, Lake of the Woods. That is the northernmost county in Minnesota, which also is makes us the northernmost continental state in U.S. due to the shape of a globe. Here we are. Dear Mom, how is business? Can you get enough stock to keep going? 1944, Roseau. A lot of people are like, oh, here, this one looks fun too. Well, honey, I suppose you had a big day on Mother's Day. I sure hope you did. And I wish I could have been there. 1944, Mower. Tomorrow is New Year's Day, and we're looking forward to a year of blessings. 1918, Murray. Okay, Carl's dying of heat, so we're going to keep walking through and just picking some at random. We are patiently waiting for your arrival. It's hard being mother, father, housewife, and referee. 1988, Stevens. Dear sister, I received your letter today, and it sure tickled me almost to pieces. 1918, Swift. Freedom has a special flavor the protected will never know. 1968 yellow medicine. Okay, that's not a county. I don't think so. To prevent possible aid to our enemies, do not divulge the name of his ship or station. 1945 Waidina. What do you think, Carl?
That was the campaign back then.
And hi, Daddy. How are you? I miss you. 2007. Right is the county. Here we are. Explaining what this is, maybe. Military Family Tribute. The Minnesota Military Family Tribute. And thanks all Minnesota family members for those who save in all branches of the armed forces, past, present, and future. This tribute recognizes the tremendous sacrifice made by the family and the never-ending support family members provide for our military personnel. The tree-lined arc of the Thank You Military and Veteran Family Walkway embraced each of the Minnesota veterans' memories. The walkway connects the Story Stone and the East and the Gold Star Table of the West, the path shaded by maple trees with red flowering gardens at each end reminds us to remember everyone deployed real. And then there you've got the kind of the outline there. And this was the garden we just saw. These stones recognize the unique connection between Blue Star families and their loved ones who are serving our nation. Each personal story provides a window into the lives and the sacrifice of our military and veteran families. That's quite cool. Okay, and yes, view of the Capitol. And now we're going there, and I'll see if I can catch up on a little bit of chat. I gotta say, it's really hard recording without you guys. What did you think about that, Carl?
Sucked balls.
Sucked balls. We need you. We're no good without you. Max says, I hope we can see the view of the whole video. I believe it's Carl's first time in America, right? Yes, it is, and I interviewed the hell out of him. And in my very Minnesota way, I jumped from topic to topic, but we will upload it. Because we saw right away that it went down, but the internet connection wouldn't come back up. We saw that it hadn't registered that I entered new data in, so I entered even more data in. And then it didn't literally pop on until just now. So we recorded in the meantime and we'll upload. And Carl doesn't have to re-explain everything. I want to check the waterfall here, the fountain. So thank you, Max. And Susan is here. Hello. Max says, I was wondering, is there a motive for moving to Norway many years ago? My ex-husband was Norwegian. So to always tell it briefly and positively, I say I was happily married for 15 years, happily divorced for 10 years, and now I've been with Carl quite happy for 4 years. He still kept me happy. So there's always a happy ending. I have two beautiful girls who are 15 years old who are half Norwegian and half American. I ran into the Norwegian quite by accident, actually. I was looking for work and employment in Sweden and learning Swedish, and I ran into a Norwegian and he screwed everything up. In memory of Minnesota law enforcement officers who have given their lives in the line of duty, and it's an outcut of Minnesota if it doesn't show up well. And then there was an eagle on each side. But Carl, are you planning to become American? You apply for the 90-day fiancé visa? We live in the wrong country for that.
Yeah, no, but you can move back.
No, I don't want to. I'm happy where I'm at. Actually, it's nothing against Minnesota or my home or Duluth, US, anything of that. It's that I'd literally have to uproot my whole life, and I'm kind of settled where I am. And there's not that big a difference culturally for me. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5:9. That was what that said. So we apparently went through this memorial backwards. Up above it says their sacrifice can never be forgotten as they did not die in vain. So of the concrete jungles between Minneapolis and St. Paul, this is of course the St. Paul. St. Paul has more stone than glass, and it's a lot more green in between. But again, I haven't been in the downtown Minneapolis in many years, so maybe that's become greener too. Roger's here. He says Viking men came on airships that night. He's giggling over there. He doesn't look like it, but he is. Lindsay says, I'm listening, just adding up exam scores. No problem. Mugabu Rajab, how much do you afford to learn that language? To learn English or to learn Norwegian? To learn Norwegian, well, I learned Swedish first. That was actually, I'm going to go down this way. It was actually tricky, but not as bad as it could be, because it's like, well, English and Norwegian and Swedish, they're all Germanic languages. And then to switch from Swedish to Norwegian was like learning extra vocabulary and how to say things differently. It wasn't too bad, but learning Spanish was a hell of a lot harder because then the grammar is way different. Over there is St. Paul's Cathedral, by the way, which is arguably as impressive as the capital itself. To mean both. You know what? It actually, after a while, it doesn't become a second language. It becomes more vocabulary, like learning more words. So it seems okay to flip back and forth. I don't know. The problem is, Swedish was my third language. Or no, yeah, Swedish was my third language. English was my first language because I grew up with it, of course. My mother's tongue, as you would call it. And then I learned Spanish. And I was fluent in it with it, but never practiced it. I had about that for 8 years. Over the school years, between 14 and 23, 22. And then I learned Spanish and completely lost all of my... Swedish and learned all my Spanish. Lost all my Spanish because I never used Spanish. And then had little practical use of Swedish. Didn't become perfect in it, but can understand it no problem. And read it. And then I learned Norwegian after that. And now I have to kind of focus to use Swedish. But the benefit of it is you get an ear for languages. So I can understand Swedish, I can understand bokmål Norwegian, I can understand nynorsk, New Norwegian, and I can understand a bit of German and Dutch, and Danish, of course. Oh, we can go across. So that's probably the shortest explanation I can, but it's tricky to learn it. It really sucks that we can only record live in vertical mode now. It didn't even give me the option to flip the camera. So here you start seeing what I talk about. We have a lot more of these in Duluth. Let's see if I can zoom. Those are skyways because it's cold in the winter. So you can, instead of going outside and freezing your balls off, you can actually just, I don't have any, but you can actually just walk over through the air there. There's also probably tunnels here too. Now we're crossing a highway, so it's very noisy. Norwegian Highway, E6, biggest one, has 2 lanes on each side, and for a little while it might have 3 lanes on each side. This is Highway 35, or where it crosses with 94. And they have 5 lanes on each side. There's another walkway over there too. Carl, what did you think about the cars?
What cars?
Oops, there, scroll down. The cars between United States and Norway. Any obvious differences?
Generally bigger in America.
Generally bigger. My little brother picked us up in a Ford, a Dodge, I don't know, whatever, but it's like a 250 with a tent extension and a cover on the back. So it's quite big cars, SUVs. And in my opinion, Norway has a lot of smaller cars like little Teslas and things. So now we're across the street. I'm thinking, why don't we head towards that really cool looking church over there? It's still green, we can walk. I gotta say, I'm not used to carrying the gimbal and talking to myself in front of people, this many people, so this is weird. Although they're in cars, so they can't see me, right? Okay, little more chat. Lindsay Lansey says, laugh out loud, that crossing sounded like a woodpecker. It does, actually, it is. It is a woodpecker. So it's for the blind. So it'll make one sound when you can cross one way, one sound when you can cross a different way, and a third one when you can't cross at all. But because they thought the beeping noises were annoying, they made them sound like birds. And they even give you a little countdown if you're not blind, I guess, to see how many seconds you have to cross the street. Although, if you run out of time to cross the street and you're in the middle, just finish the damn crossing. Little word to the wise. There we go. Whoops. Church bells are ringing. Church is still in session. I believe my little brother's will be canceled, or he's still in for another hour yet. This is about the most metro I've seen. There's the railway, the light rail they call that. That's the closest thing they have to subway, or above ground subway or tram. But they don't have very many of them. But it does go, what did you say, east to west or north to south or something of St. Paul and into Minneapolis, all the way over into Bloomington and the Mall of America and the airport. Let's see, let me read a minute. Mugabe Rajab says, I hope I'm not butchering your name. Am in Africa, and the way I am seeing that country looks like a nice one. Which country is this? This is not Norway, this is the United States, this is Minnesota. And we're in St. Paul, which is the capital of Minnesota. It's a very metro area. It's also called the Twin Cities, this area, because Minneapolis and St. Paul are right up, slapped up against each other, and they're both very big cities. But this is the capital of the state I'm from. I'm originally from Duluth, Minnesota, which is about 2.5 hours to 3 hours drive north of here. So we're visiting my brother's family who lives in St. Paul. And then tomorrow we head up to Duluth. So we thought we'd show it off, but then in a couple of weeks, maybe 2, we're back in Norway again. Okay, he's yelling over there, so I'm not going to record him.
So first of all, that means you put me in that shit. So, on that note,
We'll just listen and observe the irritants. Is he walking behind us, or? Nah, we can turn around and go the other way. I wanted to walk by the church. I just didn't want to aggravate anybody. Okay. Well, we're in the United States, Carl. I'm thinking things didn't go well for him on the light rail. So I don't know if the microphone picks it up. It's a bit windy, but there's a guy over there screaming and having attitude issues. He needs a hug. So as far as Duluth goes, that building is flipping huge. Duluth, maybe 13 floors. That is way over 13 floors. Here's the church making all the noise. It is called St. Louis King of France Church. Could you hear the guy? That was kind of fun. I just didn't want to be a Karen and record him live, throwing a fit. There's a church neighboring it. I like the church bells. Well, if you can see the bells up there, I can try to scan and zoom. They're a little different on each side. Let's see. Then we have over here the Central Presbyterian Church. This one has been here for as long as I can remember. And I will be 52 in a week. Oh, there's a little tiny building there, some statue. So basically we're in a route now to find some little cafe, but this is a very business area, so that we can get a quick lunch and then get a taxi back to the hotel, which isn't too far from here. Mike says, I'm not sure what the most common null binding stitch is used in America. You know what? I don't actually know, but Anne would, because she's null binding in the United States for a long time. Lindsay says, also crazy people yelling on the corners is totally an American experience. And I thought Carl would be the craziest person on the street there. He's running away. No, you're welcome. It took a while to arrange for that to happen. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Max says, this place reminds me of my birthplace, Cleveland. Oh, I've never been, but yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Albert says, my Krieg sergeant is almost done. And Nancy's here. Hello from Southern California. Hello. Carl? Albert's Krieg is almost done.
Okay, good.
Okay. We'll test the front microphone. Maybe with the new phone, the YouTube works in the front. Here's an old building. St. Agatha's a conservatory, which is now a hotel. It says there's a bar that is open. Celestial Bar. Celeste Bar is open. Let's see. Mailboxes, they haven't changed.
Keep priming and provoking.
There's a lot more people here than before, from Duluth. We weren't seeing very many. Oh, now this one says wait. And now he's ticking to say that we can go. That sounds like a machine gun. I don't know if you can hear it. That's definitely not a bird.
No, it's a bug.
It's a bird? Oh, it is. It's a woodpecker bird. There you go. That's what's making the noise to say we can cross. No, so I think we will go and check out this hotel. I'm pretty sure we should not be recording in cafes. There's no cafes down here. Tall buildings, though. Definitely not Norway. NPR News, Minnesota Public Radio. And banks down there. I don't know what this big building is to the right, but it looks like an arts and entertainment type building. Okay, so we think we're gonna go up this way and check out this hotel. But I'm not gonna record inside because I have no idea. So, what I will do though, say goodbye to Rockstar Carl and I.
Mine.
He got really nice sunglasses. We did cover that in the little thing that we'll upload later. We'll try to, I'll post in advance whether it be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday later this next week from Duluth. Sorry we couldn't get it on earlier, but No, but anyway, we'll upload as soon as we can tonight. I'm glad we could catch some of you though. Bye. Oh, Tegan Bassett, that's my niece. We're in St. Paul. Why aren't you at church? Anyway, we're going here, Tegan. Tell your father we are here. And we'll message him shortly. Okay, see you soon. Yep.